What up, Zulu? Just a second, let me get the vertical stream going here for YouTube, and then I will answer your question. Come on, YouTube, you can do it. Says we're connected. Now let me go live. There we go. Yo, what's up, everybody? Hold on one second. Just had to get that fixed. YouTube was being just a little difficult. Jitana, what's up? All right, how we doing, everybody? Zulu, Splendid Poppy, what's up? Specs, what up, AD? The trip was pretty good. It was exhausting though. So I spent a week. In South Carolina, and then I spent another week in Sweden after that. So we basically did like a team building type workshop for a week in South Carolina. That was great, lots of fun, and then went straight from there out to Sweden for a customer visit where it was just like 8, 9, 10 hours a day of just sitting there in meetings, answering questions. So it was pretty exhausting. But yeah, we've got a pretty awesome build today. We're finally back from all of our travels. So I'm excited to, chill out, not have to get on a plane for a while and, build a computer. So it should be pretty fun. Today's build, you got the specs there for you on Kick, but 14900K, 48 gigs of RAM, 5 terabytes of storage. We've got a 4080 Super, the Lee & Lee CPU cooler, a bunch of Lee & Lee fans, MSI Carbon Wi-Fi 2 motherboard, 1000-watt power supply, and then we've got a custom painted Lee & Lee 011 Dynamic Vivo RGB. Yeah. It's a beefy build. This is a build and a half. I think the customer's gonna be pretty happy with it. I would have loved to have been able to get this out quicker for the customer, but alas, I was gone. I wasn't here. I couldn't do it. Couldn't move any faster. How's everybody doing today? What's going on? It's a freaking beefy AF build. Whew, it's a little toasty in here. I wonder if the air conditioning is not really working. Holy cow, it says it's 77 degrees in here. No wonder it felt hot. I just stepped on something. Okay, there we go. Ah, sorry, I'm stepping on stuff back there, shipping material. Playing Star Wars Outlaws. Ooh, that sounds fun. The text-to-speech is just TTS, a lowercase, no exclamation point, and then it'll work. Your phone typed. Hey, no worries. Hey, what's up, Fadeaway? How we doing? Star Wars Outlaws. That's the new one that just came out, right? What up, Darkness? How you doing? Star Wars Outlaws is the one that literally just came out, right? Within the last few weeks or whatever. About ready to go to your dad's for dinner? Yeah, that sounds nice. Came out on the 30th. Oh, nice. I think I actually have a game code for that. Maybe they gave me a beta code. I don't know. I'll have to check. So, who's ready to see a PC build? I know it's been It's been a hot minute. It's been a hot minute. I feel like I've been gone forever, but we're back now. It's great. I'm doing pretty good, Darkness. I'm a little tired, but I'm glad to be back. What up, Leather? How we doing? Need to get you some of the new Ohana. Oh. Don't tempt me with a good time. Yeah, I'm down. I'm always down for that. Okay, just make sure that the video looked fine. Yo, what up, MJ? How we doing? All right, so Z790 carbon Wi-Fi motherboard. Get that out here. So we got this. It's gonna be our Wi-Fi antenna. Get all the other stuff out of here. I really don't know if I want to get DJI Osmo Pocket 3 or a Stream PC. Which, the Pocket 3? Is that their drone? Is the Osmo Pocket 3 their drone, or is that something else? I have the DJI microphone. That's what I use for this. Birthday's tomorrow. Oh. Happy almost birthday. What type of build we got this stream? Darkness, type in ! specs. This is a pretty high-end build. Gonna be cable gaming, streaming, content creation of any sort. This thing is gonna be able to do it all. Marcus, thank you so much for the follow-on kick. Appreciate that. It's a handheld camera. Oh, okay. I've seen this before, actually. I just didn't remember the name. All right, let's get all these peelies off of here. Unceremoniously. Ceremoniously. Okay, got those. Also, if you guys didn't notice, you might not have been able to notice yet, but you'll notice this in a minute. Check this out. So I mounted the vertical, like the downward camera to the roof. Like it's mounted to the ceiling now. So it's not gonna be all shaky and stuff when the table shakes. I mean, like obviously the video might look a little shaky if the table's shaking, but the camera will stay nice and steady no matter what I'm doing. It's gonna be a little bit more of a pain. I'll have to figure out. I think I'll start using my rear-facing camera for the game streams, for like the quick swap back and forth. But no matter what, it's not gonna be a quick swap no matter which of these I choose. But, you know, it'll be nice. It'll be nice for videos, you know. John Paul Bacon and Akitos, Pat Rock, 5 Point Slow, all coming in with those subscriptions on the tubes. Appreciate that. What up, Hatfield? How we doing? I think I need to grab a knife because I didn't bring my pocket knife to the office. I changed into these shorts today, and I think my knife is still sitting in my pants. Hatfield coming in on 2 platforms because one just isn't enough. But yeah, that sounds pretty cool. What would you use that for, Splenda? All right, let's get this 14900K out here. We're gonna install it, and then we'll install the new contact frame on top of that. Okay, here's that. Get that out of the way. Might want our fancy tray out here. And then I think this guy should be good to play Black Ops 6 on high. Is that a question? The Premiere PC is one of the pre-configured builds on my website. So if you went to redeggengineer.com, this would be essentially the Intel Premiere PC that you can literally just add to cart, check out, and purchase. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. If you guys haven't seen the new website, it's freaking sick. It's amazing. So much better than the one I used to have. 32 gigs overkill for a $700 to $900 build. If you're putting in $900, I would say 32 gigs is probably pretty good. At $700, if you're going DDR4 You might stick with 16 just to reduce the cost, because you can get 16 gigs of RAM for like 40 bucks versus like 80 bucks for the 32, but you know, it's kind of up to you. 96 gigs of RAM. I don't know, can you get 96 gigs of RAM with the 3600 and DDR4? I don't think you can get that DDR4. If you go DDR5 at CL16, like 6400, sure. Unless you're doing like a weird server build or something crazy. I don't think you can really get it in those denominations for DDR4. You want to make more content outside of streaming with photography and videography. Ooh, that sounds fun. All right, got that i9 14900K installed, contact frame installed. Oh, you want to, no, don't mix them up. That's ridiculous. But yes, that is overkill for pretty much anything other than some pretty specific stuff like CAD and, you know, simulation work. I usually wouldn't, I wouldn't suggest mixing and matching different RAM. Like, it might work, but I don't know that there's really a good reason to do that. You have 16 gigs of DDR4 sitting in a drawer. Someone wants it, they can pay shipping and throw me 10 bucks. There you go. Yeah, it's someone in the YouTube chat. Not sure if he's just like trying to spec stuff out yet, or if he's actually trying to buy stuff right now. Okay, there's our 1 terabyte T500 from Crucial. Now we got a 4 terabyte Team Group MP44. What's up, Trap? What's a Premiere build? Go to redneckengineer.com and you'll see the Intel Premiere build right there. Or there's also an AMD version directly from the website. Just add to cart and check out. You definitely, yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. I mean, it's obviously it's possible, but the 4090 you can afford. Wait, what? What about the 4090? Too big. That's what she said. I wonder if my vertical stream is even working. I think it says it is. Maybe I'll just take a minute to get kicked into the algorithm. Actually free, just pay shipping and it's theirs. There you go. What up, Lorenzo? How we doing? What is the best 4090 on the market? I mean, price to performance, like either you get one of the MSI ones or like Asus TUF has always got good stuff. Asus TUF is a great way to go. If you want to spend more money than that, I mean, you can go with like a ROG, but performance is probably going to be pretty much the same. You helped out Scuba Daddy yesterday? Oh, dude, he's a hoot and a half. Yeah, he said he was going to reach out to you. I don't think everyone has your new, like if they haven't reached out to you in a while, I don't think they have your new Discord still, so I had to send him your Discord. Yeah, he is so much fun. I got to hang out with him when I was in Tennessee last year. It was a lot of fun to hang out with him and his wife. You have a 3600X and a 3060 12 gig, 750 watt power supply. Hey, I mean, that's a solid little computer, you know. Definitely capable of playing games. Okay. His 14900K was cooking. Oh yeah, is he? Do you like need to replace the thermal paste, or was it just that he needed needed all the updates and stuff? Miguel, what's up? The Strix from Asus. The Strix from Asus is good. It's just, you know, depends on how much you're willing to pay, because you don't really get much better performance. It's more of like for Asus, you know, you're paying for the name, paying for the overclocking capability, you know, stuff like that. But in terms of like the average person just plugging in and not doing anything else with it, leaving it stock, Asus TUF is great. Updates and manual CPU config. Nice. Glad he knows who to go to. He reached out to me. He's like, "Hey, is Trap still like doing stuff? Like, I can't find him." Or he didn't respond to my message. I was like, "Oh yeah. I bet you you don't have his new Discord still." All right, so we've got 5 terabytes of storage in here. We got the 14900K. Let's get our RAM in here. This is a 48 gig kit. What's up, Golub? How we doing? Your main PC has a 5800X and a 3080. Sheesh. But a second PC would be nice to have for stream. Oh, for sure. Definitely frees up resources on your PC if you can have a separate gaming and streaming PC. Okay, that's all there. We can get our back plate and stuff installed for our CPU cooler now. Is Intel still having those instability issues? They have fixed, well, they say they've fixed the microcode that was causing the instability issues. I guess it's, we'll have to wait and see if they've truly fixed it or not. Trap's in the chat. He has a much better handle on if they've really fixed it or not. But 4090 is overkill for 90% of people. Absolutely, it is. The biggest thing I usually stay away from is I just stay away from Zotac. I've never had good experiences with Zotac as far as their high-end GPUs. Okay, so there's the back plate. And I'm going to need those. Definitely gonna need those, I think. Shouldn't need the rest of that. The rest of that should be good. Maybe that. The microcode is what they said the issue was. I think that's what they admitted to. Just trying to get the best performance. That's right. Your laptop's scrolling automatically. What is the issue? What do you mean scrolling automatically? You mean like it just is sensing that you're trying to like use the scroll wheel and it's scrolling through? Like it scrolls down like an internet page and stuff? Is that what you're talking about? When I'm not streaming, I'm getting like 160, 180-ish FPS on COD, 1440p on low, but hundreds when you're streaming. That's a pretty big drop. I wouldn't expect a 60 FPS drop, but I guess it depends on what your streaming settings are, for sure. What's the issue with Zotac? I've just had more infant failures and like dead on arrival failures with Zotac than I have with any other brand, so I kind of stay away from them. It's not so much that like nobody should use them. It's more of like, as a PC builder, I don't want to deal with it, right? Like I don't want to deal with an infant failure of a GPU because it costs me money. And I definitely don't want to deal with like having to do a return like the moment I pick up I build a computer, fire it up, and like it just doesn't work because of the GPU. So for me, I stay away from them. I'm not saying everyone else should stay away from them. I'm just saying I think that's what I do. Why isn't anyone talking about Intel GPUs? Because they kind of aren't great. Like if you're going low end, sure. And I think from what I understand, their stuff has gotten better as far as like driver compatibility and stuff for games, but it's definitely just not to the point where they can compete with Intel or Nvidia or AMD. All right, so here is the case we're using today. This is a Lian 011 Dynamic Evo RGB. As you can tell, well, maybe couldn't quite tell because I was so fast in putting it up here. It's got a custom paint job. Mrs. Red did a little custom paint work on this baby. Okay, so I'm gonna lay this down. There we go. It's a pretty freaking cool case, right? Looks real good, like real good. Okay, I think I want to do the same thing here that I did with the most recent ones that we did with 4090s in them, just to give a little more space at the bottom. I'm gonna shift the, they have like a lower and upper section, or lower and upper like mounting scheme, I guess. I don't remember, I don't know how you want to describe it, but basically you can shift the motherboard up or down by one slot. So I'm gonna shift all these up one slot, so that way there's a little more room under the GPU. And it should help us put in a, what's it called? Put in a GPU support underneath. They say they'll put something out that'll rival the 4080. Only problem is the 4080 came out a while ago. So they're just now catching up right before Intel or Nvidia releases 50 series. It'll still be like, depending on the price, a question on whether it makes sense to buy one, right? What's MSI, not Asus? What are you talking about? Everything's scrolling. Yeah, it sounds like, I mean, your touchpad is messed up, like a sensor in your touchpad's messed up. You have an i5 3rd gen. Sheesh. Does it still work well for you? 3600 with a 4060. Yeah, it's a nice little build. Yes, this motherboard is an MSI. Is there a question somewhere? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I see it from Miguel. I missed it. There we go. People say it will become obsolete. What will become obsolete? The 14900K? You always face temperature issues with the i9 compared to AMD? Yeah. It's because they sit there and throw a bunch of, they have all the efficiency cores in there, and yeah, they're just, in general, they're less efficient, right? Like they pull a lot of power to do similar stuff. Best CPU to pair with a 6600. Depends on what you're trying to spend on it, right? Like if you're going with a 6600, then you're probably trying to minimize what you're spending. On some of the gaming PCs on the website, you can upgrade some parts. At the moment, I don't think we have that capability built in yet. You can do that via the, bro, go away. You can do that via the, how do I ban this guy? There we go. I forgot what I was gonna say. Did you wash the case in the shower first? No. Shut up, one time is enough. One time is enough to get you kicked out of here. My brain, I totally forgot what I was reading. Oh, yeah. So, what you can do is if one of those at the moment, like until we get that functionality built into the PC, what you could do is go through and fill out the custom build form and basically like in the comments say like, I like this one, but I want to make this change, and I can get you a quote for that specific one, you know? That's what I was gonna say. Until we get those set up, because we are gonna have that set up soon where you'll be able to essentially take one of the pre-configured builds and like go with a slightly better CPU or GPU, maybe go with a lower end CPU, GPU, adjust the amount of RAM or storage in it, all that good stuff. So it's just not quite there yet. We're working on it. Yeah, this is an 011 Dynamic Evo RGB build. Yeah, the X3D CPUs are freaking baller. Right, get all that out of here. Get the graphics card bracket out of here. Hopefully this GPU isn't too chunky to use it. You have a thick boy 3060. All right, let's get our bolts out of here. So we can nail this motherboard down. Watching while you're playing Star Wars, let's go. We had a guy in here a while back doing the whole Free Palestine thing, and he had 9 different accounts that he came into the chat with to freaking spam that nonsense. So don't feel like we've seen the last of Emod. You know, be ready. I'm sure he'll come back. Yo, what up? RGIO 216. Keep going. I appreciate you. I know 9. I know, isn't that crazy? He literally came in with 9 different accounts, and like they all had like the same like name kind of to them. So we knew it was him. 32 gigs of 6,000. Yeah. You can only get like a single channel kit of 16 gigs. So if you're going DDR5, 32 is the minimum. But it's not that expensive. Like you can get a good kit of 32 gigs of DDR5 for like $100, or even just less than $100. Hold on, we gotta bring this down a little bit. Can't see this last bolt over here. Yeah, DDR5 is really cheap. It's basically what DDR4 was. Like when DDR5 launched, it's now basically the prices of what DDR4 was when DDR5 launched. Like it's pretty awesome. Saving for a new PC fadeaway? Okay. What are you thinking you're gonna use the new one for? You're just gonna go like bet more newer gaming? Make sure to attach the motherboard to the monitor. What? What are you talking about? Okay, there we go. Now I can put all these extra bolts in here. So we don't need them right now. Get these zip ties, these extra cable ties out. You can go away. You want to do dual PC? Let's go. He's trying. Corsair is killing the game. Corsair's new cases that they just came out with are pretty awesome. It's about time. And like their new fans and stuff are pretty great. They're still like kind of overpriced in my opinion as far as the fans and stuff go. And then of course, if you utilize them, you are stuck with Corsair's IQ software, which is, it's not great if you ask me, but you know, what do I know? Okay, so let's get this thing scooted over here. We'll get our little pad out from underneath. And it's time to get Lazy Susan up here. I feel like I have to keep this, gotta keep that mouse close for when Emod comes in with his next account. He's just signing in right now and doing all of his 2-factor authentication stuff, you know? Infinite Cup Guy. Oh. We're just drinking water today, all right? Okay. Lazy Susan out here. Dude, the paint job is sick. Mrs. Red, as per usual, went wild with the paint job. yeah, no, all right, get this out. Oh, let's plug stuff in first before I start putting those fans in down there. Corsair, yeah, Corsair stuff is definitely overpriced. They do it, they kind of have, I mean, I guess they're the same company as Elgato now, but they've always kind of had that same sort of ideals as Elgato in that they kind of try and make it so everything's super easy to use. And so even though they're overpriced, people will buy them because it's, you know, more plug and play than the average computer component, you know. But I'm not a big fan. I haven't been using Corsair stuff in a while. How the heck did that one sneak through there? Okay, it's better. Paint job looks like it's rusting. Yeah, it kind of does, doesn't it? Yeah, I mean, the customer who got this computer basically said they wanted the paint job to look kind of like one of the previous ones we've done, and so we just went with it. Okay, let's see here. So we've got HD audio in, we've got our front panel connectors in. Let's figure out, we've got USB right here. Is there USB 3? What's in the PC? It has a 14900K. It's got 48 gigabytes of RAM, an RTX 4080 Super, 1000-watt power supply, a bunch of Lian Li fans, Lian Li CPU cooler, 5 terabytes of storage, and the MSI Carbon Wi-Fi 2 motherboard. I think I got everything. Okay, plug this in. This is going to control the RGB for the case. Come on. There we go. So that'll control the built-in RGB strips that are on the case. And then all we have left here now is SATA power, which we can't connect in at the moment, so we're good there. All right, let's get this guy, I think, in here. Okay, got those in there. Just gonna try and route our cables best we can as we go along. That way the cable management at the end is easier. Okay, route this guy up here. Yeah, 5 terabytes. I'm not messing around. Not messing around with storage on this one, that's for sure. Okay. Do you have an internal capture card that you recommend for 1440p dual PC streaming? I usually recommend the AverMedia Live Gamer 4K. I think they have 2 versions of it out. I think they have a new version of their 4K stuff out, but the old one is the one that I still use, and it's only like $180 now. And it does, yeah, really great capture. You can do pass-through if you're going from like a console, or, you know, for whatever reason you want to do pass-through. And yeah, that's my suggestion. Okay, let's take all these guys out. Come on. All right, we don't need those because these are gonna have fans right there. And all right, now we can start installing fans here. So what we did for this setup is we've got reverse blade fans for the bottom and here. We've got standard fan here, and then the CPU cooler comes with the uni fans. So I just need to open this 3-pack up so that I have all the right connectors. Is 1 terabyte of storage enough these days? Yeah, I would say that's like the minimum you want to use these days. Like 1 terabyte is definitely enough if you don't play like, you know, a bunch of games. If you play a ton of different games, then I would say you probably want more than that. Or you can be one of those people who just kind of like, you download a game, install it and play it for a while, and then like uninstall it from Steam or whatever when you're done. If you're okay with doing that, then 1 terabyte is good. But like Windows takes up like 100 gigs right off the rip, so just got to be mindful of that. Very mindful, very demure. Okay, I won't say that again. Sorry. Lemons, what's up? Okay, there we go. I have to make sure I'm being mindful and placing these the right direction because they're reverse blade fans, so you have to mount them opposite of usual. Playing some Minecraft. Yeah, Minecraft doesn't take much, so at least as far as PC performance power. What did you think of my build? I made some more tweaks to the RGB and stuff. Did you post it in the Discord or something? I've been traveling and stuff so much that like I haven't had a chance to like look for stuff. What up, Turtle? Okay, yeah, I've been like pretty much disconnected from most everything the last couple weeks because I've been so busy like while I was traveling. I'll have to take a look at it though. I need to make sure I set up notifications for some of the channels in my Discord though, because for some reason I don't seem to be getting anything. Okay, get the stickies off this guy too. Right, there's all that. 3 fans. Let's plug them in. Okay, and this guy gonna get connected on here. Okay, just like that. Yep. And then we're gonna put it on this way, so that way this guy can just run straight to the back. And yeah, let's bolt these babies in. What are the specs? It's got an i9 14900K, 48 gigs of RAM, 5 terabytes of storage, an RTX 4080 Super, and 1000 watt power supply, a bunch of Lee & Lee fans, Lee & Lee cooler, Lee & Lee case, custom paint, most everything. MSI Carbon Wi-Fi motherboard. I mean, you're more than welcome to ask questions. Oh, Seth. Oh, okay, yeah, I see. I've noticed lately you gotta be really careful with the bolting in of these Lee & Lee fans. They like to strip out at a pretty low torque. Your Lee & Lee fans are not being detected by the Lee & Lee software. Did you make sure to download the like firmware update tool? I haven't seen it be a problem recently with like the new fans and stuff, but you may need to do that. Download the firmware update tool from Lee & Lee's website and do that outside of the Lee & Lee L-Connect software. The fans that come on the radiator. Which fans do you have? Is the Antec C3 a good case? The thing is, the other renowned brands like Corsair are really pricey in the country. You don't have the budget for it. I've never used that case specifically, but I've had really good experiences with Antec in general. So I can't speak to that case specifically, but Antec makes pretty decent stuff for the price that their cases are, you know. How does the 4080 Super compare to the 4090? It's not quite as good as the 4090, but it's pretty darn good. If you want specifics, you probably can go watch a few YouTube videos on the percent performances, but 4080 Super is going to get you about 90% of the way there to the performance of the 4090 in most applications. If you're doing like ray tracing or like playing in 4K and stuff, that's where you'll start to really see the discrepancy. But for most people, probably not going to even notice. What's up, Miguel? All right. How much do laptops limit performance? If you compare a laptop with like similar price point, it's going to be pretty significantly worse. The hardest part with laptops is cooling. There just isn't enough space for like good cooling. So even if your laptop specs say they can hit whatever speeds and stuff, they usually end up not being able to do that because they get too hot and then they have to like fold back the performance, like the boost clock and stuff. That's kind of the biggest downside of laptops. I mean, if you want to be mobile, like, that's what you got to do. But you have to keep that in mind. Just join. What build are you doing now? This is a very similar to a Premiere build that's on my website. So it's got a i9 14900K, 4080 Super, 48 gigs of RAM, a bunch of storage, like 5 terabytes of storage, and it's got MSI motherboard, bunch of Lian Li fans, Lian Li cooler, 1000-watt power supply, all that good stuff. You might be able to use exclamation point specs in the vertical stream, but sometimes it doesn't really work. So, curious why you're using a 4080 instead of a 4090? Because it costs like $800 less for nearly the same level of performance. Like not the same level of performance, but it's not that far off. So like a base price of a 4090 is like $1750 most of the time. Maybe you can find one on sale for a little bit cheaper. Versus one of these, you're paying like $1,000 to $1,100. What's the exhaust to intake fan ratio on this one? We've got 6 intake fans and 4 exhausts. How dated is the Pentium Silver? I don't know. It's pretty old. Lian Li case is running. You're running is the 011 Dynamic Evo White. Wait, mineral oil? What? What are we talking about? Do I prefer AMD or Nvidia? I've used AMD GPUs for a long time, like for several years. I just recently switched to an Nvidia. I think for ease of use, Nvidia is really nice because like everything is just made to be super easy to update, and it tends to be a little bit more stable in general. But like price to performance, if you're not doing like crazy ray tracing and HDR and stuff, Nvidia is a little bit better in that regard. Okay, let's get all of our stickies off. Like a Pentium dual core. That's pretty ancient at this point. It's got to be at least like a decade old, right? Random Games coming with a sub. Appreciate that. Okay. Let's get all these guys stuck together. Bought it in 2006. Yeah, it's probably very incapable of doing just about any sort of gaming or most workstation type things these days. Unless all you're doing is like surfing the internet, it's probably not going to be of much use. Okay, let's get this guy here. Do that. Do you know a good PC for Black Ops 6? I mean, any of the PCs on my website would be able to play Black Ops 6. Just depends on how much you're willing to spend. I feel like you've been asking about this stuff for months, Miguel. Giving you lots of options. You just gotta pick one, man. Just gotta pick something. Could I just wear latex gloves to prevent static? You really don't need to wear anything to prevent static these days. Like, stuff is pretty, it's pretty resilient. I mostly wear the latex gloves for avoiding getting my, oh, I put this on backwards. See, this is what happens. These are reverse fans. Yeah, I mostly just wear them to keep the PC clean while I'm building it, so I don't get like oils from my fingers or anything on it, you know? But yeah, you don't have to really worry about static. As long as you're not like walking around with wool socks on a carpet, you know, sitting there doing this the whole time and then touching, you know, the bare PCB on your motherboard or, you know, certain like capacitors and stuff, then you should be fine. You know, be smart about it and you'll be fine. What up, Asker? How we doing? What up, Stony? Welcome in. Are your messages sending? I've responded to some of them, Darkness. Are you talking about messages in the chat? I've definitely responded to some of them. With a screwdriver, though. What are you talking about? Do I give tech tips? I mean, I can try. No promises I'll, you know, be able to necessarily answer your question, but I can definitely do my best. You know, if I don't know, I'll just tell you I don't know. You took a whole night the first time? Yeah, I mean, my first one took several hours too. The more you do it though, the more you can do it faster. How long does it usually take to finish a PC build for newer people? It definitely depends on the level of hardware you go with. Like the more expensive and higher end hardware you use, the longer it typically takes just because there's more stuff to put in. If you did like a budget build, so like say you're only spending, you know, in the realm of like $1,000 where you're using like an air cooler for your CPU and maybe just the built-in fans on your case, stuff like that. I would say the average person could probably assemble it in a couple hours. And then obviously there's a lot more work to it after that. That would probably take a lot longer of, you know, installing Windows and getting everything updated and all that good stuff. Okay, there we go. These are installed. Sorry, I've probably been blocking your view back there the whole time, but it wasn't on purpose. So I hope you guys forgive me for that. All right, and you just slide that in there, click it in place, and there we are. 6 fans are installed. Let's get our exhaust fan on now. All right. Recently built a PC and it's performing suboptimally. You have a 4080. If you're only getting like 30 FPS in games with that system, there's definitely something wrong. I can guarantee that. Like 100%, something is not right. If you have a system like that, if you're playing, say you're playing like Call of Duty at 1440p, even with like, you know, higher settings, graphic settings, you should be getting, you know, 150 FPS. Easy, easy. So I'm not sure what's going on with your system, but yeah, something's definitely not right. Oh, not 30. Oh, okay. Whew, 30 FPS more. What are you getting right now? If you think you should get 30 FPS more, then it's probably pretty likely that it's your graphics settings, would be my guess. But it's without knowing really anything about your system. You bumped the sticker. Ooh, oh, headshot. Because you're just staring at the back of my head. Sorry, Lance. You were playing Valorant on 4K. Unintegrated graphics getting 2030. Okay, yeah. I was like, 2030 FPS is really low for any sort of modern system. So yeah. You have a 7700K, 32 gigs DDR3. Currently run a HD 6770. In college, I need to run Unreal Engine. You're on a tight budget. You've got a decent amount of RAM. I would say like get like an RX 580 or something GPU, or maybe like a 1650 or something like that, or maybe like a 10 series Nvidia GPU. Because you can get those for pretty cheap these days. Oh, yeah, I wouldn't compare benchmarks too often to like the actual in-game because, yeah, benchmarks is just, it's not very realistic of actual in-game like use. So if that's all you're concerned about, like I wouldn't worry too much about that because like, yeah, just a benchmark is just that. It's a benchmark to like kind of give you an idea, but in-game is always going to be different from the benchmark. And more often than not, it's going to be lower in game than what you would see in a benchmark, because a benchmark is just like it's not the same sort of level of like a dynamic environment as an actual game. Okay, exhaust fan installed. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and then we should have a fourth from the CPU cooler. I'm gonna kind of route these a little bit. So based on the length of these cables, we're gonna put the controller for the fans in one of these guys, or just below them, because the power supply takes up this whole space. So there's not a lot of extra room to put it. We could also put it on here. Like I've put it on the back of here before, and that usually works okay too. So I'll have to make that decision at some point here soon. It's kind of nice for it to be back here so that it doesn't like get moved around so much, you know? So I think that's gonna be our primary target, is gonna put it like right in here. And just slap it in, slap it to base. Okay. Okay, so we got those in there. I think, speaking of CPU cooler, we can probably put that in a minute. Let's get our power cables in, and then we can get our CPU cooler in here. What power supply is that? This is a 1,000 watt power supply from EVGA. So this is the 1000G XC Supernova. Important thing to think about these days is making sure your power supply has ATX 3.0 support, aka the PCIe 5.0, which means it has like a native power cable to Nvidia GPUs if you happen to be using a newer GPU from Nvidia. Unless you get anything lower than a 4070, it will be using the like native Nvidia connector. Okay, don't need the power supply just yet. I'll get it out of the case though, or the box though. PCIe 5 exists. I thought 3 was the newest. Are you talking about like, so there's different things. So PCIe 5, there's like weird differences here. So we're not talking PCIe Gen 5 like speeds in the PCIe slot, although that does exist. And most motherboards these days have PCIe 4 at a minimum. But this is like, we're talking, so ATX 3.0 support, aka PCIe 5.0, the 12 HV power. That's the thing to think about for the motherboard. If you're using something like PC Part Picker, you can just search power supplies via the 12 HV power connector to make sure that it has one of those, and then that's an easy way to make sure that it has it. ATX 3.1 is out too. There you go. This is the Lianli 011 Dynamic Evo RGB. It's the newest flagship motherboard case from Lianli. Okay, so there's GPU motherboard. We're definitely gonna need some SATA, so let's grab one of these. The more expensive build, the better. I mean, if you want more performance out of it, I would say in general, yes. Especially coming from like if you're looking at my website, like if it costs more than that, definitely means it's gonna have better performance. Because I don't overcharge on things. What do you think about the NZXT H5? The H5 Flow is a really great case. I really like it, especially for, if you have a smaller build, like if you don't have a huge GPU and stuff like is in here. If you have something more reasonably sized, the NZXT H5 is great. And it's pretty reasonably priced. I think the RGB version is like 130 bucks. Definitely not like the cheapest thing, but it's not bad. Okay, let's get our CPU power cables in here. FlameX, thank you for the sub. Pop for the sub. Appreciate y'all. Jasmine, Beamer, John Paul Bacon, Anakitos, Pat Rock, 5 Point Flow, all coming in with those subs on the YouTubes. Appreciate that. Intel is so bad in 2024. I mean, it has been pretty bad up till this point. Like the fact that they got the new BIOS and stuff sent out helps a lot. But yeah, Intel's been struggling this year for sure. But a lot of people still like Intel, so it is what it is. All right, so we got that sticking through there. Get our motherboard power cable in here. I do prefer AMD, for sure. It's not always the best in every single situation, but I really like AMD. I've been using AMD CPUs more often than not in my systems. Right now, my current gaming PC has a 7950X that I got shortly after AM5 released. All right, keep these to the side. We don't need them just yet. All right. Okay, so we got all that stuff in here. Oh, I saw your name, which is what made me giggle when I first saw your first comment. It's pretty good. Okay, power cable's in there. Let's get our CPU cooler out here. Some people will just die hard on the hill of Intel, though. It's for whatever reason. Okay, so we're not actually going to use most of this stuff here. We'll use some of it, I think, but for the most part, we're going to use the controller that comes with these fans. Okay, we're going to stick those down there. I don't need those. Question: when I OC, my screen turn. Your screen freezes? Not sure I know the answer for that. What up, Mina? How we doing? Thank you for coming in on Kick. The more expensive the build. Yo, what up, Medi? How we doing? It's too good? What's too good? Yeah, I mean, if you're having instability issues when you overclock, it's very likely your overclock is too much and it's becoming unstable. And it could be power delivery to, you know, a given component, or it could be just, yeah, general instability stuff. So like, if it's only happening when you're overclocking, then like your overclocking isn't stable. And it's as simple as that. Okay. Yeah, AMD has also had a bunch of issues like in the last, not so much this year as like when AM5 released, but you know, different issues. You know, they have their own issues. But yeah, honestly, right now in terms of like price to performance, I think AMD has it for sure. All right, so let's take this guy off. Unlock that way. Come on. Is this backwards? Okay, I think they put that on backwards. Cool. And then I'm gonna put this guy on instead to control these fans. Right. AMD has its CPU issues, but you're not an Intel Arc. Not on an Intel Arc GPU level. Yeah, Intel Arc has not been great. The AMD Adrenalin software is, yeah, it's a little tough to use for sure. Not the best. It works, which is nice. Okay, so let's get this guy here. I'm gonna try to get this thing through here first before we get that there. That's perfect. And I'm gonna actually be smart enough to get these bolts out. You only have a 500 watt and the system is close to maxing it. I mean, that's definitely could be an issue. Yeah, it's hard to know without having seen your system, right? Okay. Pull this guy through here. Okay. All right. Stick that up here. And then let's get some of these bolts started. Because this radiator is kind of heavy and I don't feel like holding it up for this long. Okay, there we go. CPU and GPU hit 200 watts alone. I mean, you could turn off your APU if you're concerned about that. That way it doesn't draw any power. This PC is going to be primarily for gaming, yes. $5,600X, would you guys go with an AIO? I would just go with an air cooler for that, man. You can get like a $20 air cooler from Thermalright and be able to cool the 5600X with no problem at all. I mean, I'm sure Intel might be able to... Oh, sorry, I missed the fanboys last one. You have a 5500 with 750 watt power supply, a GTX 1650. What GPU should you upgrade to? Like a 6650 XT, I feel like would be an appropriate one for that system. Like you don't have, you're not getting you don't need. It's hard because you don't want to like get a GPU that's then bottlenecked by your CPU. So unless you're planning on upgrading your CPU down the road, I wouldn't suggest going too crazy with the GPU. Like a 6650 is a pretty solid price point and should get you a nice jump in performance. Maybe not enough to be worth the spend, but I don't know. It kind of just depends on what you want to spend. But yeah, 750 watt will cover you for most GPUs. Yeah, 6750 too would be fine with that What is going on? Why is my phone freaking out? Oh my god. This turd, Emad, is freaking, look at this. Look at this. He's just spamming me on Facebook instead of coming back to YouTube. He went to Facebook and is just spamming that message. How do I block this guy? Blocked. Eh. Tell him F off. Okay. Let's just double check all these screws one more time. You have a Rockstrix B550F gaming motherboard. Okay, so you're planning to upgrade your CPU. Then yeah, I would. Then in that case, like I would get something like. You could get like a 7700 XT or a 7800 XT, and then like you'll still be in good shape for when you upgrade your CPU. If you're willing to spend the money. If you're not willing to spend that sort of money, then like a 6750 or a 6700 XT is a good spot to be. All right, so let's put the top back on. Okay, so got all that. Stuff's looking pretty good. Let's get some thermal paste out here. And we'll get this fancy schmancy little, you know what? I don't even like using those things. I'm just gonna steal the spatula. We're just gonna pre-spread it like a man. Good to know I know your cell phone's passcode now. Did you watch me unlock my phone? Did I show that? My bad. If you saw that, then you also saw what my dog looks like in the background. I heard a 4070 Ti Super is worth it. 4070 not really. A 4070 Super is probably what I would go for if you went for that like sort of price range. But I mean like, when you say not worth it, like they're still very capable GPUs. Like the 4070 Ti Super is what I have in my gaming PC now after my 7900 XTX took a dump on me. But like it does really good work. It's definitely expensive though, so like it just kind of depends on your price range, what you're willing to spend. I might be out of paper towels. I thought I brought more in here. I thought I brought more paper towels. Maybe I used all these ones too. Coon Dog Cody coming in with a sub. Cats. Flamex also coming in with a sub. I think I already called that one out early, but thank you. All right, so we're just gonna get a little bit of this on here. So basically what I've been doing and what I do with thermal paste is just put a bunch on there. So it's really easy to apply it and spread it, and then just come back through and just wipe it until you just have that nice thin layer covering the IHS. That looks pretty good. Because you don't want too much thermal paste. Thermal paste is just there to kind of cover up the ridges and valleys on both sides of the CPU cooler, the IHS and the copper, in order to make sure that you get optimal contact area between the two. Or why is that disconnected? There we go, okay. Well, it's already disconnected, so I'm gonna put the one that I like on here better. Might as well, right? We might as well. You finally caught a stream. What's up, Van? How we doing? Lorenzo, stupid question. What changes from GTX to RTX? Naming scheme? No, yeah, after GTX was when they introduced like all the like built-in ray tracing stuff into Nvidia. So it's the key is that it was a new architecture that they released. The nitty-gritty is that they, yeah, better with ray tracing and stuff. Okay. There we go. I like this better than the one that it comes with, so we're gonna do that instead. Okay, here's that. Get these bolts out for it. You remember the 1650? Yeah, low-end 1080p card, for sure. Definitely not meant for 1440p. PS/2 devices are great if you have this, the port, says Cookie. Sorry, sis, I missed something. We're running low on USB ports on your motherboard. Do you get a hub kit for it? Personally, like if you're using external, if you're talking like external USB ports, I would personally go with one, if you have space for it, that connects in via like a PCIe slot rather than like an external hub, if that makes sense. Those tend to work much better than the external hubs. So rather than like basically bumming off of one of your USB ports and splitting it and splitting those lanes, you can utilize a PCIe slot. You can really get one with like just this tiny little slot here, and put a hub or like a PCIe card, and then you'll just have like 3, 4, or whatever more USB ports there. That would be my suggestion on what I would do if you have that available slot. Oh, you're talking internal ports? Yeah, you can get a splitter for some of those. That would be fine. I think you can do the same thing. I've never tried, but I'm pretty sure you can do the same thing like PCIe to internal if you needed that. Yeah, you can get a hub or a splitter. Just depends on like the hubs that you're connecting them to, on how much data they need to pass through and stuff, right? Making sure that the USB 2.0 can handle it. You're back with a question: what GPU should I buy to upgrade your 3050? What else is in your system, bud? Love my stuff. Hey, thank you so much, Van. I appreciate you. I watched one a month ago and haven't been able to catch another. Sheesh. Well, I'm glad you're back. I mean, honestly, we've been gone for 2 weeks, so this is the first stream in quite a while. Because I've been out of, I was in South Carolina for a week and then went straight from there to Sweden. So I've been out of office for a good minute. Budget friendly Nvidia, go with a 4060. Yeah, I mean, those are solid options if you don't want to spend much money. You know, I always try and base my recommendations just like based on what they have in their system. But, okay, so I'm gonna run this guy back. Run this guy to the back, and then we're gonna bring him over here. Then run him to the pump fan header. Right here. Just like that. Okay. And then we've got this guy, which is gonna, speaking of internal USB ports, this is gonna go to one of our internal USB ports, which we should have enough of. We only need 2 for this system. Got USB. Cool. Cool. And I'm gonna run this through the gauntlet of cable management stuff. Okay, there's that. And we're just gonna stick this guy in the back side here. So we're gonna have 4 SATA power cables to deal with. 1 from the CPU cooler, 1 from the case, and then 2 from the hub there. All right, let's do a little more cable management here. Got 64 gigs of RAM with a 4080 Super and a 7800X 3D. Whew! Now that's a system. I mean, it's very similar to this system. This one just has 48 gigs of RAM instead of 64. Okay, see power cables coming through here. Squeeze them through there. Okay, now they're going to be able to plug in down at the bottom. We'll go through this guy too. Okay. There's our CPU power cables, basically all the way routed. Just have to plug them into the power supply. I'm going to do the same thing here with the motherboard power cable. Stick that through there. I don't have to undo this one. Years ago, you bought your 3080 Ti. It's crazy that was years ago now, right? Do you need an expensive monitor for an expensive PC, or does it matter? I mean, do you need one? No. Should you have one? Kind of. You want to make sure that the FPS and stuff that you're getting and the quality of the picture that you're getting out of your PC can be realized visually, right? Like you don't want to have 200 plus FPS, 1440p, or 80 FPS in 4K, and then have a junky 1080p monitor, right? Like you're never going to actually get to see the benefits of those if you don't get a good quality monitor, right? So, short answer is not required, but doesn't really make much sense to go with a high-end PC if you're not going to also get a solid motherboard, right? Okay, so we've got that stuff connected in and cable-ish managed. Is AM4 still good today? Yes. The 5800X3D is still one of the best gaming CPUs out there, and it's pretty reasonably priced. AMD is still, generally supporting their AM4 platform, including they announced that they were planning on releasing a couple of new SKUs for the 5000 series, which was very surprising. So yeah, it's still good, and it's cheap. Using 3080 Ti for gaming and streaming as well. Solid. 3080 Ti is a very capable card. What do you think of the 14900 CPU? I mean, it's a very capable CPU. Most people buy it and then basically could have just gotten a 14700K instead because it has the same number of performance cores. So, like, it's got the same exact performance cores in the 14700K as are in the 14900K. So, if you're just looking to play some games, like, just get a 14700K instead. Would be my suggestion to most people. If you're like committed to getting an Intel, like, you can also get a 7800X3D for about the same price as a 14700K. Okay. So there's those three. And the fourth one's coming from over here. Squeeze that guy through there. Squeeze him through here. Plug him in right there. Okay. Come on. There we go. Okay, so all of our fans are now connected into that hub there. It's just kind of sitting there for now. We'll actually put it in for reals later. And then we've got our power cables coming out here for that. I'm gonna wire them up kind of up here for a second and then get those plugged in. Then we need to do this guy. Take it down to the USB port, which is gonna be a bit of a reach, but we should be able to do it. Is Arctic a good fan manufacturer? Yes. They're definitely on the budget side in terms of like the cost of their fans, but like they do make good stuff. And their CPU coolers are also quite good. The liquid freezer was one of the best coolers for a long time. Just buy the 5600X 3D. There you go. 4060 Ti is better than both, obviously. Yeah. Indeed. Would there be any bottleneck for PCIe 3.0 with mid-range cards? I'm not sure. That's a good question. I would think probably not, but I don't know for sure. Go, here's that. And this we just need to connect in to our CPU fan header. Right there. Like that. And this one is going to go to our RGB header. Probably should have gone behind on that one too. Let's do that. Logging off. Hey, Sus, thank you so much for hanging out. We'll see you on the next one. Ryzen 5 7500F with a 4060 Ti, good pair. Yeah, it should be. And it is nice if you get a 7000 series, like going on AM5, just because you'll have more options for upgrades down the road. You know, if you plan on having your PC for a long time, it is nice to have AM5 and not have to like worry about upgradability for years to come. But obviously it comes at a, a bit of a premium right now. There we go. That's harder to get in than usual. Okay. All right. All that stuff is now connected. Now we can do the last couple of things here before we get our power supply in. Give it to me. There we go. Got my SATA power cables up here. Let's get a nice little cable tie out here. Oh, I wonder who this could be. Bye. What was the first system, and what did it do best? So I started building computers in 2020. So my first system that I built was a 3700X with 32 gig, or sorry, when I built it, it had 16 gigs of RAM and a 2060 Super with the AMD like Wraith cooler, like the RGB one. And I used it for gaming and streaming at the time, and it did great for that. Like I was able to game and stream at like 100-ish FPS steadily on Warzone while streaming to Facebook Gaming. And I was able to run like a replay buffer with it and everything. It was pretty awesome. And like that is the basis of the build that I still use for my streaming PC. Like I've rebuilt it enough times that like it isn't really the same computer anymore, but that was kind of the basis of my now stream PC too. With a 7600 XT, oh, that should be fine. I would probably personally go with a little bit higher end GPU with that CPU, but it would work for sure. Okay, put that through there. Okay. This looks like a little bit of a rat's nest at the moment. Right here. We should be able to fix that. I go Windows 11. For one, Windows 10 has like some security stuff that like it just hasn't been updated, and Windows 10 support is going away from Microsoft. And Windows 11, like gaming on Windows 11, is like there's no issues there, so I wouldn't go with Windows 10. And I don't install Windows 10 on anything. Okay. All right, so all that stuff's plugged in. Let's get our other two SATA cables plugged in down here now. Doing some great work for only 4 years of building. Hey, thank you. I work hard to build good quality stuff for sure. I'm sorry if I'm blocking half of the views in the over the shoulder camera. I'm doing my best. Okay, that looks pretty good. I think Mischief is mostly managed down here, which is pretty nice. It's always good to get to this point and have, your cable management mostly done. Okay, got that. Let's clip that guy off because he's going to be mostly inaccessible once the power supply is in. Okay. Now we can, let's get the GPU anti-sag bracket thing out real quick. And what did I do with that? Did I put it in the box at the bottom? I did. Okay. So this is the anti-sag bracket that comes from the Lee & Lee case. I think, and I really hope it'll fit with this 4080. So the way it works on this one is essentially you just bolt this onto those two motherboard bolts, and then this guy, you just can like adjust it up until it squeezes on the GPU. So I'm gonna, before I start working on installing that though, I'm gonna get all this crap out of the way. And then I'm gonna get the GPU out and make sure that it fits between that, because like the MSI 4090 that I built with recently, was too big to fit in there, so. Linux is great for diagnosis, especially managing drives and stuff. It's probably true. I've never used Linux, because I'm a mechanical engineer by trade, and not software. So I don't really bother with messing around with Linux. You know? Not really my forte. I do want to go through some like IT classes and stuff just to be more useful in that area, but if you run a FX 8320 8-core processor, overclocked to 4 gigs, with GTX 570. Thermal paste or liquid metal? This has thermal paste on it. Liquid metal is good for overclockers and people who are willing to have to replace it on a semi-regular basis. If you're not either of those things, then I would not suggest it. So there you go. This thing definitely fits. Plenty of space there. So we will get to installing it. So I need a couple things out of here. Okay. Let's get one of these guys installed. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be any help for you there, KRN. Oh, don't you dare. That's so annoying. Okay, so somehow this bolt is loosening the stud behind it rather than coming loose itself, so. So I've got this little pair of pliers back here to hold the stud steady. It's unfortunate. I wonder if it got cross-threaded somehow. Didn't feel like it was cross-threaded or anything, so that's very surprising. All right, so now I'll make sure that stud is actually back where it should be. It's hard to see because that glass is opaque. Oh, I can just take it out, I forgot. Okay, on the old models you couldn't do that. Okay, that looks good. Okay, we're fine. Everything's fine, everything's fine. Just fine, just fine. This is the best stream you watched in your whole life? Holy sh... Sorry, I try not to swear on stream. Wow, that is quite the compliment. I will take that, thank you. Take that one to my grave. Love computers and how they work, this is cool. I'm glad you guys are having a good time. Okay, so got these nice big standoffs here. Now I can put this guy right on there with one of these screws, I believe. Okay, get that one started. Is that a used one? Not used one? I think it's fine either way. It's looking good. Thank you, Van. I appreciate it. Okay, it's tight. Okay, it's also tight. Look at that. Thing's on there nice and stiff. I mean, wait, what? Okay. And then I'm gonna take a couple of these and just stick it on there so that it's got a nice soft pad. Probably just cut it in half-ish. Look at that. There we go. Pull the little sticky bit off there. Just like so. And then now we'll just be able to adjust this wherever it needs to be, and then it'll hold the GPU up. Lickety split. Look how nice that is. Great job, Lee and Lee. Great freaking job on that. I love that design. Yeah, Windows is just stable and compatible. It's very true. Oh, I think what I was supposed to do actually, now that I think about it, I think I was supposed to like mount this to that so that this is then what gets used. I think that might be what I was supposed to do. Hold on. I have more of these if I need it. Pretty sure this is supposed to go like that. Yep, 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 yep. Okay, so it's one extra step. Lee still gets a kudos from me, if I'm being honest. This is really more on me for not reading the instructions, and it's been a while since I've been able to use one of these. So don't blame Lee for this. This is my fault. I think it's one of these little guys. Okay, so there we go. Now we've got a nice little stand on there. For whatever reason, it's better than just the other piece. And I'm gonna take this one off. We'll use a fresh one. That's the full length. Switch back because I'm missing drivers for stuff like the Go XLR, missing anti-cheat support. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Like on some games, like just running Linux didn't work because of like it wouldn't, the anti-cheat stuff didn't work right. Like they're just like, oh nope, you're cheating, and then you can't launch the game. I feel like I remember hearing about that. Okay. Now we're good to go for realsies. For realsies. What's up, Jason? Entry level card they do. Sorry, oh, I missed the thing. I would say 4060 Ti is not overkill for gaming. There is obviously the 4060. So if you're just playing on gaming, you know, casually in 1080p, the 4060 is fine. But the 4060 Ti is nice. Woo! Excuse me. Yeah, if you don't want to spend the money on a 4060 Ti because they are like $400, you can get a 4060 for, you know, it's going to be less performance, but a 4060 can play most any game at 1080p and even some of them at 1440p. So you can go with either. Okay, so there we go. That is installed. Now we got 3 slots over here to take off. What's the specs of this build today? This has a 14900K, an RTX 4080 Super, 48 gigabytes of RAM, 5 terabytes of storage, all the Lee and Lee fans and cooler, and then a 1000-watt power supply. If you want to see something very similar to this system, Abigail, if you go to redneckengineer.com, someone type in !PC. Oh, actually, you know what? I don't think Botrix is working on that.
Just
so hold on.
Basic build, LOL.
1 second. Let's see if I can type it blind. Let's see if I can do it blind, you guys. Let's see if that worked. redneckengineer.com, there it is. Okay, so that's my website. You can buy a very similar build to this on my website. This is essentially the Premier PC. It has slightly different specs. They went custom with it a little bit, but you know, for all intents and purposes, this is basically the Premier PC for the Intel system. MSI, I don't think it would have been possible for MSI to use a cheaper plastic to like protect this card. And it definitely shows because the plastic just wants to tear constantly. See if I can get those off with my little handy dandy scraper tool here. There we go. Well, this one seems to be going a little bit better than the last one I did. There we go. That wasn't so bad. The last one was super tedious because it just kept tearing, but this one actually did okay. It's so shiny, dude. I love these GPUs. I made a video about this when it came out because I thought it was like one of the best looking GPUs out there. I think it's incredible looking. I think they look really good. And then a bunch of people were like, this looks terrible, it's a cheese grater. And I was like, well, fine. Dash my dreams, why don't you? The case is a Lian Li 011 Dynamic Evo RGB. I know it's a mouthful, but that's what they called it, so don't come after me for it. Looks like it got it pretty flat. Isn't this the GPU with heat issues? Maybe. I haven't seen any problems in the ones that I've used. I've used multiple of them. I think this is like the third one I've used. And in test, I haven't seen any issues in testing. All right. Okay. Does this have a power supply side? Some of them do, some of them don't. The other thing I would like to see is if they had a separate thing for the top. So this one, because of the way the motherboard is, it sits down a slot from normal. So you don't get the like sandwichy effect that you normally would get. I don't know if this thing has the ability to fix that. I feel like it should. Oh, I wouldn't be able to do it anyways because that fan is right there. So nope, not gonna work. Yeah, I mean, it's possible that like there have been issues with it, but like, I mean, I test all my systems before I ship them out, and I haven't had any issues with it. So, you know, it could be that I've just gotten lucky. I don't know. The good old days of Windows 7 in 2009. Ah, the good old days. All right, let's put this through here, I think. Gotta be real nice and gentle with these 12 HP power. Oh, I probably don't want to route through there because then it could potentially hit that fan. The bad days of Windows 8. Oh my God, yeah. Windows 8 was something, wasn't it? It sure was something. I'm trying to remember. I think I had like a Surface, a Microsoft Surface Pro that was on Windows 8, but I don't think I had anything else ever on Windows 8 besides that. Okay, everything is in, everything's connected. It literally just needs to get connected to the power supply. like this, and then plugged in, and then we're good. Motherboard's connected. Let's get our CPU cables connected over here. Okay, 12 HP power. Yeah. And then we got our two SATA connectors. Just put you guys down there at the bottom for now. Making the open ports on here, these accessible ones for later. And there we go. Everything is now connected. Let's bolt this power supply in. Y'all, I'm sweating. I'm sweating in here. If you buy 4090 today, when will I need to upgrade? It's hard to say. 6 years? You know, assuming it lasts that long, 5-6 years, it'll still probably be a capable GPU, but not, you know, at that point you'll probably, if you're buying a 4090, at that point you'll probably be wanting something new, if not before then. It's hard to say. It really just kind of depends on like what your comfort level is with your hardware, like how high performing do you need it to be, right? Like 5-6 years from now, it should still be a very capable GPU. It just, you know, it's not gonna be the best anymore, right? Okay, that's all good. I think we could tie these SATA cables down in here. Don't think I didn't hear that subscriber notification. I just can't read it at the moment. Or it could have been a new follower somewhere else. I don't know. I don't know. Should GPUs have expandable VRAM? I don't know if I trust the average consumer to be able to do that. And my guess would be that it would actually make it less reliable than having them soldered on. All right. I want to get, give me a 1 out of 10 on this, the cable management back here, y'all. 1 through 10. No, don't give me a 1 out of 10. 1 through 10. What do you think? What do you think of that? Building PC is more fun than playing the game. Well, why do you think I started a PC building business? Because I like it. 7.5 out of 10. I'll take it. 10 out of 10 cable management. 11. Is this an ITX? No, ITX is tiny. ITX is a little baby. This is a full ATX. Actually, technically this is considered a mid-tower case. ITX is a it's a form factor, so it's a standard size. At the baseline, it's the size of your motherboard. It's the form factor of your motherboard, but everything else would be, like, they call them ITX if it's ITX compatible or designed for ITX motherboards. So, like, if you are looking for an ITX case, you know, that would mean that's like probably designed specifically for an ITX motherboard and probably doesn't support anything larger than an ITX motherboard. Boom. Just gonna stick that in there. Give it a little squish. Give it a little squish. Okay, there we go. All right. You wanna know the best part about not caring what cable management ratings you guys give me. There, it's gone. Doesn't even matter. Nobody's gonna see it anymore. Take that. Just kidding. Okay, let's reassemble some things. I mean, I'm only kind of kidding. It is very nice to have those cable management cover-ups. Lorenzo says 8 out of 10. All right, bet. All right, we'll put this guy back on. If you guys didn't get a good chance to see the paint job that Mrs. Redneck did, here you go. Let me switch to this guy. Yeah, yeah. There you go. This is where you will wish you're on the horizontal stream, because fortunately the vertical stream does kind of cut off a good bit here. But yeah, this is all custom painted by Mrs. Redneck. So got this panel here. The top panels are done. Obviously you can see the front panel is done there. All custom paint job by none other than my wife. And yeah, I mean, cable management's looking pretty good. Everything's looking pretty good. I would like to fix that. I mean, it's not terrible, but like I could make it better. I could make that better. Come on, bend this way, please. There we go. Squeeze that. Okay, that's good. Boogie, Edgar Martinez, Sky Galaxy, PK Hota, all coming in with the subs on the tubes. Appreciate y'all. Okay, there we go. There we go. All right. There it is. Oh, other way, I guess, in all her glory. We're gonna bring the lights down a little bit for you. Gonna bring down the mood. Bring up the mood? I don't know. We're gonna moodify the lighting in here for you so you can get the full effect of this PC. All right. There we go. Okay. Now, GPU is ugly. Get out of the chat. Get out of here. No, I'm just kidding. Every good surgeon uses gloves. It's true. This is where we wish we got this PC for free. Yeah, this is where you come if you wish you had it for free, for sure. I love the GPU. Call me crazy, but I love it. Okay, what I need from every single one of you right now in the chat, I can see all of your names. Well, okay, not really. If you comment, I can see your name. Anyways, I want every single person in the chat to put your favorite emoji in here. Maybe a fire emoji, maybe some RGB emojis, you know, something. Put it in the chat, and then we'll fire this baby up, okay? That's what I want from each and every one of you. While I get my camera off of here. Okay, just moving my camera over. I'm gonna play some video games after this. So, you guys have just a little bit of time to get those emojis in there and show me just how truly devoted you are to the PCMR. And then we'll get that baby fired up, all right? Give me another, like, 20 seconds. I mean, you have 20 more seconds. This is not because I'm busy doing something else. This is just me giving you more time. 10-ish seconds. Three seconds. Okay, I'm back. Let's see all these emojis. Got Lorenzo coming in with some emojis. Got a follow from, oh, let me get out of here. Bye. Look at all those beautiful emojis. Whew, they're so good. All right, let's plug it in. Let's plug it in and power it on up. I know, I bet you thought when I finished counting down I'd be ready. But it turns out I wasn't ready. Okay, sorry. Okay, power supply in. We're ready to go, we'll flip it on. Okay, 14900K RTX 4080, 48 gigs of RAM, 5 terabytes of storage, a bunch of Lee and Lee fans, here it is. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, don't mind that the glass is hard to see through. It's got the sticker stuff still on it. Kidnap me, bro. That looks so good. Oh, look how good it is. That is delightful. That is the Lee and Lee Galahad 2 Trinity SLINF. Don't worry about that. That's just memory training. No big deal. I'm gonna fill up my water bottle here real quick. Your boy's thirsty. All right. How are we feeling about it? How are we feeling about it, chat? Because I feel pretty good. PC is behind my shoulder, asking for some RGB. Where can I get RGB fans ASAP? You can find these ones that I've used here in the description for the video. There's an affiliate link if you want to help a brother out and use the affiliate link. You don't pay any extra. It just gives me a little kickback. The RGB looks great. Is that motherboard also available for AM5? I believe they have an equivalent one for AM5, yes. Oh wow, look who it is. No. Go away. We don't want politics in here. What does it train for? Is the memory in the military? Yes. It's training for the military. That was the first time that he said something, and he said a couple of other comments just like with like emojis, so we'll give him a chance. All I did was delete the one comment. He should still be able to say stuff in here, but if he keeps it up, he's gone. Banned. Oh, it just looks so good, you guys. It just looks so good. Sexy PC build is better than politics? 100%. PC for president. Not me, I don't want to do that. I still can't believe that guy earlier found me on Facebook and just spammed Free Palestine after I banned him here. Like, dude, just go away. That's not what we're here for. If a girl gave me this PC, you would have to marry her on site. You would have to marry her on site. If a girl gave you this PC, that's not even, there's no option. You have to do it. I agree. You're asking about the motherboard because the VRM RGB on it looks sick. Yeah, I don't recall exactly if they have a like identical one-to-one, but let me check real quick. X670E. Yeah, they do have a carbon Wi-Fi version. Yeah. So they have there's an MSI MPG X670E carbon Wi-Fi. So looks like they're probably similar in price. $480 standard, but you might be able to find it for around 400. So yes, you can get this exact same motherboard for AM5. That PC is dope, plus 5,000 aura points. Let's go. Do the RAM? No. So the RAM, the case, the stuff that's here, like along the top and the bottom of the case, and then the stuff that's on the motherboard itself will all be controlled via MSI Center, the Mystic Light through MSI Center. All of the fans and the CPU cooler block, this thing in the center here, this guy, will be controlled from Lee & Lee's L-Connect software. You can set up Lee & Lee fans and stuff to work through MSI Center, but the Lee & Lee software is so much better for their own components that I don't do that. You'll just have to run 2 RGB softwares, unfortunately. Plus 900 aura with 200 nerd points. I'll take it. I'm at 5,900 aura positive for this this stream now, so I'll take it. Looks good. And now it doesn't look very similar to mine. Has near identical specs. Has your approval 10 times over. Let's go. Happy I found this live stream. Thank you, Redneck. This stream is awesome. Your skills are amazing. Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate everybody hanging out. Yeah, the glowing bulb in the center, it looks so much better than like the one that it comes with. They give you a couple of different options with that CPU cooler, and honestly, that it's a like an opaque, like white plastic that you put on. I think it looks way better than the standard one. Signal RGB, I know, but it doesn't do as good of a job as the Lee & Lee L-Connect software does for the Lee & Lee fans, right? Like, it's just not as good. Plus, you need the L-Connect, ideally, if you want to set up your fan speeds through that too. So, yeah, it's fine. It doesn't use that much. It's not like Corsair's iQ. It doesn't use up that much of your system to use it. It's just, oh yeah, the extensions. Yeah, I haven't used those in a long time. I don't really like, especially how the GPU ones look nowadays with the Nvidia connector. I think they look I don't think they look that good, to be honest. The old ones looked great when it was like the 3 8-pins, but I don't really think the new ones look that great anymore. More RGB, more horsepower. Yes, RGB equals FPS, for sure. What are the chances in all the world that a GT210 will ever enter your workshop? Probably pretty low. I do have an ancient computer from my dad that I want to put in here and like maybe do a sleeper build with. But I want to do like a full like video on what it looks like and what's in it and stuff first. The PC costs like a car. Yeah, it's over $4,000. Are RGB extensions safe? Personally, I wouldn't use one on the new Nvidia GPUs, but the motherboards and stuff, they're okay. Yeah. At least the Lee & Lee ones. I don't have much experience with any other brands, just the Lee & Lee ones. Still rocking a GT 1030. Let's go. Hey, if it works, it works. All right, y'all. That is the end of the stream for me. We don't have any more builds coming up this week, but I'm thinking maybe on Friday we just do like a chill, just chatting stream where you guys can like ask me questions, and maybe I'll just pull a PC out and just put it on the table to mess around with or whatever. But yeah, I'm thinking that's what we're gonna do. Friday we'll just hang out and we'll have a little just chatting, ask me whatever you want sort of stream, since we don't have a PC build yet. We might have some PC sales coming up this week. We don't know. We don't know what's gonna happen. But there's nothing in the queue at the moment. Okay, I hope you all have a absolute great rest of your night. If you're in the U.S., happy Labor Day. Hopefully you had the day off and you didn't have to work. If you're outside the U.S., happy Monday. You know, you're here. You made it through a Monday, right? All right. Bye, everybody. Bye. Thank you. Good night. Good night from Norway. I was just in Sweden. I was there. Bye. Kissing homie, good night. Mwah. Just for you. Okay, bye.